Hello everyone, so we're going to wrap up this collection by Frog Planet, the second series, which I believe came out in 2024, according to an Amazon listing. And this is a secret chase, so it doesn't tell you what it is. I'm going to guess it's this thing, a Surinam Horned frog, but let's just open this up. This foam looks different from all the other foams I've seen. All the other ones look like this. It's just for some reason there's a different layer on this one. Alright. And then we have two accessories here. Some of these come with magnetic accessories. What the heck is that's? Looks like an insect of some sort. This is some sort of mask, I think, for that insect. And this is a horn. So there's actually three accessories. Okay. And then the frog itself. These are rigid plastic, so you do not want to drop these. They will shatter like ceramic. I almost wish they were made of PVC so they were more durable, because one of these, this one is a very stout figure, but the arm was broken. Even though it was inside all this foam, that arm was snapped off. It's really annoying. I don't know if I want to buy another one or not. Alright, so looking at these images, it does look like a Surinam horned frog. So I am going to read some Wikipedia here. This is known as the Amazonian horned frog as well, because it lives in this northern part of South America, part of the Amazon, I guess. It can grow to be 20 centimeters, or around 8 inches. So that's a big frog, I guess. And it'll pretty much eat anything it can jam into its face. Fish, lizards, mice. And even as a juvenile, it'll eat other Surinam horned frogs. They attack each other. They eat tadpoles of other species. So they're just hungry. This particular one is roughly around 6 centimeters, maybe 6.5. Its height is roughly around 6 centimeters as well. It is a solid chunk of polyurethane rigid plastic, I think. So, all right. So, yeah, I mean, it does look like. Sorry, I dropped something. It does look like this image, right? But if you can think it's a different frog, maybe it's another type of horned frog. I don't know. So the base is kind of an off-white, and then you can start seeing how they maybe airbrushed yellow onto it, and that yellow gets darker on the sides, and there's a bunch of brown splotches with some crevices to help that paint process. I guess these are hand painted, and there's actually a lot of sharp spikes on this thing. The tympanum here has some deep crevices. The eyes are very glossy. Yeah, and there's even a white reflective dot painted down the eye. You can see the square of my LED up there, but the body's pretty matte. You see, you can't see a square. So two different coatings. The mouth is actually kind of matte finish, considering it should be wet. And there's two different pinks at least, but it looks like there's a paint wash or more airbrushing in that mouth as well. And it's got two like fang looking teeth. Pretty neat. The hands are looking like they're grabbing something, and I can see there's a magnet right there. There's like a round outline, barely noticeable. The nostrils have a little depth to them. The horns are not symmetric, it seems. This one looks pointier than the other side. So over here we have more spikes, and yeah, different shading going on. Very nice. It's nice, actually. It's really cool. Very spiky, very dangerous. Alright, so accessory wise, this is a freaky looking bug, and you can see there's a magnet there. So the bug, I don't know what this is, but it's got 3 horns like a rhino beetle or something, but I don't know. If you can leave a comment, does this look like any actual bug in the real world? A cicada? But I don't think cicadas have horns. Anywho, they painted, I don't know if this is a reflection or the pupil is white. I have a suspicion it's supposed to be a reflection. So a lot of paint shading on this as well. Red, orange. Yeah, pretty well detailed. And it looks like there's 2 magnets back here. Oh, so that's what the hands grab. Alright, so let's put it on the frog here. So the hands, that's really cool, right? is it trying to eat it, or is it trying to like be friends with it? That I don't know. You know, it's but it's really neat with the four. There's probably another magnet here, so there's really four magnets interacting, and that's what allows it to kind of suck into place there. Very cool. So then, if you want, you can put on a fourth horn, and there's a magnet there, and that again is airbrushed really nice. Okay, so now is there some sort of insect that looks like this that would have four horns? Maybe a beetle or something. Okay, now I guess you can replace that horn if you want with this crazy Japanese looking mask. So this mask is actually well detailed. The eyes in particular look glossy. You can see the square LED above us. So there's a dark, light, dark, light. Yeah, four different rings of color. And then the mask is like a matte red. You can barely see the reflection in the square. And then this is a floating like a mustache going into the nostrils and a goatee and some black paint wash or something, or brown paint wash. Yeah, so it's actually well done. It's a lot of color going on. The back side looks more orange. The front side looks red. Interesting. And obviously a magnet again, because apparently this bug needs to have a mask. I'm sure there must be some sort of cultural oh boy, is this mask polarized correctly? This is really bad. This magnet is put in backwards, so it's actually resisting. It doesn't want to go on. See? This is reverse. So that's really dumb. These clowns put the mask on backwards. So the only way you could get that to work is to use some sort of like poster putty. Hold on, luckily I keep some by this review booth. This is light duty poster putty here, so but it should be strong enough. Let me just smush this on here so it does conform around the horn. Poster putty doesn't seem to interact with paint. It seems to be a fairly neutral product from my experience, but in 20 years, don't blame me if your paint's all corroded because you used poster putty. Alright, so that's what it's supposed to look like. I'm sure this has some sort of cultural significance in some country. To me, it looks like it's Japanese, but I might be wrong. Maybe it's South American. You would think it'd be South American if this is a South American frog, but again, I'm not sure if it's really an Amazonian frog or not. So with that said, I'm going to have to leave this horn on because the magnet on that mask is backwards. Huh. I almost wish there was a stand and you could just kind of leave the frog and this just separately, right? But I guess it has to go like that. So here's the box again, and I put them in generally the same order, but I try to fit them in the frame. So they're all really neat, and I started with this one, the tomato frog, and this has a magnetic leaf to make it look like a tomato. This is the fringe leaf frog. I just have poster putty holding this into the tree. This is an Amazon milk frog. Pretty neat with this blue and also four segmented eyes. This is interesting. It's called the paradoxical frog. And the reason why is the tadpole is larger than the adult frog. The tadpole is quite huge, and then it shrinks down to be a frog. And this is magnetic, which is neat. It also came with a milk bottle. But unfortunately, the milk bottle is not magnetic. Unless maybe that's what was supposed to be there as a magnet, but I don't see a magnet anywhere near that mouth. Then we have the La Palma glass frog. Unfortunately, the thing isn't set right, like the legs. It doesn't lay flat, so that's weird. And then we have the Chaco horned frog. For some reason, it comes in a spoon. And then this common rain frog, that leg broke off right out of the box. Real shame. Real shame. This is interesting. The horned tree frog, the Hemifractus, it carries its eggs on its back and then they hatch into small little froglets. So that's magnetic. And then even this one egg is magnetic with a tiny magnet there. This is kind of a plain one. the waxy monkey tree frog. This I had to crazy glue onto the tree because it was very loose fitting. It doesn't even sit really on there, unfortunately. Then we have the Japanese toad, which is a huge toad, I guess, in Japan. And it's also got 4 segmented eyes. And then we leave with the chase. So they're all solid chunks of resin, but they're also rigid resin. So if you drop them, you try to flex them, they're gonna snap like ceramic. So yeah, I almost wish these were made out of PVC because they're actually not very well detailed in the realm of animals. Like they all have smooth textures and everything's generally big. They could have easily made these out of softer plastic if they were molded, but I guess maybe this company doesn't have the resources to buy a bunch of expensive steel plastic molds. So they went with these, what I assume are hand-casted silicone molds. But just an assumption. Nevertheless, they're really well detailed, I think. You know, they're hand-painted, so that's why I guess they cost a lot of money. But I always have to throw in the caveat that they are brittle. So if they come out with a wave 3, I'll probably get it because I really like the styling. You know, it's most of them do look very cartoony. Some though, this actually does look pretty much like a normal frog. This also looks like a normal frog. This one as well, but clearly this is very cartooned. This is very cartoon. The tomato frog is very cartoon. Very funny stuff, you know. All right, it's a long video. We'll see you in the next. Hopefully, in the future, there'll be more frogs. All right, bye.